Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session about the ADC Nigeria. We have two speakers for you lined up for this session. But first off, for those of you that don't know me, you probably have seen my face bouncing around in all the sessions throughout the summit. But for those of you that don't know me, my name's Ruth Berlin, and I lead the Student and Community Engagements Program for the Africa Development Center. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to two ladies, awesome ladies, that will be representing test-based team and the mixed reality. First up will be Blessing Maloney. She is a software engineer from test-based, and then we will follow it up with Anami Yochaman, and she is a senior software engineer for the mixed reality team. Okay, Blessing, you're going to go live now.
All right. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm sure everyone is great. So, as Ruth rightly introduced, thank you for the opportunity to talk about my team, and thanks everyone for joining today. I really do appreciate this opportunity. So, as Ruth rightly said, I'm a software engineer with the M365 test-based team. We've gone through numerous name changes from USL, which was Update Staging Lab, to now test-based team. So I'll just give you a brief summary of what we do at test-based and how we're contributing to Microsoft's vision of empowering everyone on the planet to achieve more. So in test-based team, we provide a cloud testing service for software vendors and IT vendors to be able to test their applications against pre-release updates of Windows. So what that means is that every customers or every software vendors wants the applications to keep working as normal when we have new updates. And usually Windows always release updates like security updates and feature updates, Windows updates every month and feature updates like twice in a year. And for software vendors to be able to test the applications against these updates and make sure that the applications are working as expected, we are providing a platform and a service for them to be able to do that. So on my team, we have about like four sub teams. We have the content management team, we have the customer experience and abundant team, we have the platforms team, and we have the fundamentals.
So I think we have some technical issues. Anami, is it me or did we lose Blessing?
I think
Yeah, you lost me for a second. I had an issue. With my...
Okay, I'm going to send you back to live. Blessing.
Oh, it's back now. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
I think we're having issues with, 1 second. We can see you now. So I can see you now. Okay. So I'm hoping everyone else can as well. There you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So basically, that's it. That's what my team does in summary. I think the customer experience team is responsible for the onboarding of packages on our cloud testing service. So now think about Windows updates servicing over 1 billion devices in the planet, and now our own service, which is the test-based service, is reaching at this month is reaching over 160,000 devices. And now consider like the exponential growth in the next couple of years. That's the kind of impact our service is providing to customers all over the world. We're keeping customers protected and productive because now they don't have to think about creating testing environment for the applications because we are providing that service and infrastructure for them. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions, you can feel free to send it in the chat room and I'll be able to answer your questions. I'm not sure I can hear anything. Okay, now I can hear.
Thank you for that blessing. And Anami, you're on live.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. As Ruth said, my name is Onome Foreman. I am a senior software engineer and an engineering lead on the mixed reality team here in Lagos, Nigeria. So I'll tell you a little bit about our team and the makeup of the team, and then I'll talk about what we do and try to explain some of the concepts, the mixed reality concepts a bit for everyone in case you don't know what that is. So our team is made up of 16 full-time engineers here in Lagos, and then we have one intern who started in October. And the rest of our team that we work with is spread across Redmond in the US, the UK, as well as we have some folks in Zurich as well. And fundamentally, we work on building mixed reality services that runs on devices like the HoloLens. Some of you might know the Oculus, but basically build mixed reality services that run on these hardware devices. And our team works on both the science side of things, so creating AI algorithms and MR algorithms, but also on working on the services, so the software that encapsulates these AI algorithms. So there are some concepts that I'd like to talk about today when we say mixed reality. I think one thing to call out is, so Blessing talked about her team and how, they deal with millions of users, or she said 160,000 users this month. So we run on a much smaller scale because the work that we're doing is very niche. But mixed reality, really, the concept is about being able to mix both the physical world, so the real world that we're in right now, and the digital world, so things on your computer. So think of images, videos, 3D objects, graphics of any kind. Being able to mix those two things together and so interact with digital objects as if they were in your physical space with you live. And so one example I like to give people is if you think about what architects do, when they want to design a building, first of all, they would create a 3D model of the building, let's say made with different kinds of small components. So they would create a plan on the computer and then a 3D model at a small scale that they can show their clients. And then they would create a 3D object or 3D model as well on the computer. And then they share that with the clients, and the clients can see, okay, this is what the building would look like, this is what the factory would look like, and so on. But when you think about these 3D models on a computer, they are not actually representative of what you would have in the real world. So the kinds of services that we build allow you to actually put that 3D model in your physical world at the same scale that you would have it be when you have that building built. So what we're trying to do is going from a small model of a house to an actual, large scale model of the house as it would look in real life. And then you can have your clients walk through the buildings and then actually feel like they are seeing the house before it's built. And then these applications go beyond architecture to medicine or to just, teaching people in classrooms. And so when you think about, okay, your physical world as you are seeing it and interacting with it in person, and then being able to have 3D digital objects there, some people think immediately not just about architecture, but about games. So if anyone has played a game like Pokemon Go, for example, you know that you can have games where you can see 3D objects in your real space. So maybe you're walking around Lagos, or you're walking around Nairobi, and you're going around catching Pokemons, right? Those Pokemons have been placed there. These are digital objects that have been placed in your physical world. And so one of the services that we built and that was released in May allows you to essentially understand the physical world around you. And based on understanding that world, you can then place a digital asset there. So in the Pokemon Go example, to place a Pokemon anywhere, you have to know that, okay, maybe this is a chair and I can place a Pokemon on that chair sitting down, or that this is a table and I can place a Pokemon on that table standing up. But in order for you to know that things are chairs or tables, you need some AI algorithms behind that to say, okay, this is a chair, and so I can place someone sitting down, or this is a bed, and I can place somebody lying down on that. So what our team works on is the science behind understanding objects, so chairs, tables, and so on, and then also the services to help you then place these 3D assets. So in the Pokemon Go example, place a Pokemon, or in the architecture example, place a 3D house in that space that it's understood. So that actual service launched on Azure in June of this year. And then we are working currently on similar related services that allow people understand their environment a little bit more, mix that environment with things that they do on their computer, but then also collaborate, not just with these digital assets, but also with other people a lot better as they do the work that they're trying to do. So that's very high level what we work on. Hopefully that was a good enough explanations, and I can take some questions if anyone has them.
Yes, let's start first by, I'm just gonna read off, someone had submitted on the Q&A window. What are some of the benefits and challenges of of culture diversity you face in your team?
I can start, and then I'll give Blessing a chance to also respond from her perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
So for cultural diversity and challenges, so I think one of the great part about working with a global team is that you have people from different groups, so different genders, different ethnic groups, and so on. And this is actually very, very important in the types of software that we're trying to build, especially software that allows people to understand the environment around them and also represent people, right? So one of the things we do is like represent avatars in physical space. And to do that properly, you really need to like represent avatars of different kinds of people across the world. So diversity is very, very important in the work that we do because we're trying to represent people of different kinds. And it's important to have that diversity also reflected in the team. Now, in terms of the problems or the challenges that it causes, the biggest thing for us right now is we're working with people across different time zones. And time zone, and working across time zones is just difficult because sometimes it's already evening here in Lagos when my team in Redmond is waking up. And so they're very energetic and I just want to go get dinner and go to bed. So that's the biggest challenge for me. But other than that, I think a lot of people are very open and very empathetic of what everybody else is going through. So we don't see any like cultural clashes at all. And I think that's a testament to how well the Microsoft culture has focused on being accepting and encouraging people to really just bring their full selves to work.
Thank you, Nami. Blessing, I'm going to send you to live window, and if you could answer the same question. You are muted.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Thank you for that question. So I think one good benefit of cultural diversity to my team is that we have different customers across the globe, and having different teams working in different countries helps us to serve all our customers across the globe. Because like today, if I'm working in my time zone, I can serve customers that are working in Israel because their time zone difference is almost like very similar to mine. And so if they have any issues, if they're experiencing any problems with their applications, it's very easy for me to respond to them on time. So that's a very great benefit of cultural diversity to my own team. Then for challenges, like Onome said, sometimes it could be really challenging because of the same time zone, in as much as it's beneficial to us because we serve different customers across the globe at any time of the day. Sometimes we need some asks. There's some requests from my other team members across the globe, and once they're awake and I'm about to close off work, it's almost like challenging because sometimes I have to respond to their requests, because then they would want to get their job done a lot faster because we are all collaborating on the same platform. So it's both beneficial and has a little bit of challenge. So I hope that answers your question, but that's just the feedback I want to share.
Thank you for that, Blessing. And I see that Anami actually has been answering the questions on the Q&A window, so I don't have to put it back to her to answer to read off these questions that are on the window. So I'm going to keep the camera on your face, Blessing, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions for both of you, just to wrap up this session. One question is, and it gets asked a lot, and so I'm going to ask you this because yesterday in the sessions with ADC Kenya, these questions were asked. What type of skills do you need to succeed in your teams?
That's a very good question. I think for me, one of the major skills that you would need is
Did I lose Blessing again? Hello, Blessing. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, so I think there's a lag. I see your mouth moving, but I'm not hearing anything. But now I'm okay. Now I can hear. Okay, so one skill set that I feel like is very, very important is having a growth mindset and being able to collaborate with your team members and also being able to communicate, because there would always be reasons for you to share your thoughts on something. There will always be reasons for you to communicate the update on a particular task you're working on. You don't expect anybody to assume for you, right, as an engineer. You always need to be able to make it clear that, oh, I'm not able to do this because of this, or I've done this part of the work, and clearly constant communication. And then growth mindset in the sense that being open to feedback generally, because sometimes when you're working with your team members, everybody shares like different perspectives, about different ways of solving a particular problem, and sometimes their own perspective might be a lot better than yours, but it's being open to that feedback, being open to hear people's own opinions about certain way of solving a particular problem. So I think those three skills are really important: a growth mindset, communication, and being able to collaborate with your team members. Thank you.
Thank you, Blessing. So, Nami, I'm going to put you on live. And the same question, what kind of skills do you need to succeed in your team?
I think so. I'll look at this two ways. So I definitely agree with Blessing. On the technical side, I would say three things. So focusing on algorithms. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Focusing on algorithms. So focusing on algorithms, focusing on data structures, focusing on system design. So there are lots of resources online. You can learn in school as well, but these are just very generally what we look for in software engineers. And then for the other part, which is the non-technical skills. So I agree with Blessing. So collaboration, growth mindset, communication is key. One of the things we also look for is just a drive for result. So essentially being able to brainstorm and figure out different ways to solve a problem, and being willing to sort of stick with the problem until you get a solution, whether you come to that solution yourself, you come to that solution in collaboration with other people. Really, neither way is better than the other, but just having that drive to get the result and to get a solution is very important, because a lot of the times we work on really hard problems, or you work on problems you don't even know how to approach, but having the right mindset to actually figure things out is very, very important, because we rely on everyone on the team to be able to provide sort of, to be able to move the rest of the team forward. And so driving for results is one of the things we look for. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Nami. So I'm going to leave the camera on your face for the next question, and this is more of a personal question for you and Blessing. And this is so for this particular summit, we only received about 30% of the 3,000 folks that registered were women. So my question to you, woman to woman, is that how did you start on this? What made you decide to start in this tech field? How did you start it? And how do you keep with your technical skills, keep up with your technical skills?
Okay, I'll try to be brief, but I think I started in the technical field through my dad. He's a mechanical engineer, and I'd always gravitated towards math and physics in school. So I studied electrical engineering in university, and then my main foray into software engineering was actually through an internship my third year in university. And so I realized, okay, I really liked creating software, coding, and solving problems. And so I took more computer science classes in my last year of university. And then I started work with the company that I interned with. So that's really how I started on that trajectory. And I've been really, really lucky to have really great mentors in school, but also in the places that I've worked, who have sort of helped me learn and progress technically, but have also opened me up to opportunities. So I worked in an investment bank on trading software, and then I worked at Google for a few years on search, and then now at Microsoft. And through all of these experiences, the ways that I've kept up with tech is really through the work that I do, through the really incredible people that I work with, but also a lot of self-reading. And I know a lot of people who are software engineers now who are completely self-taught. And so one of the wonders of this field is that you can learn everything you need to know online. And I think everyone should take advantage of that if they have access to internet, is everything can be learned online. And even most of the times when I don't know how to progress on a problem, I just Google it or Bing it, and then I find some way to proceed until I get stuck again, and then I go back to the search engine. So really, computer science, more so than most other fields, you can find the information you need online because a lot of people are open to sharing their experiences and helping answer questions that you have. And I would encourage everyone, male, female, whatever gender you are, to really take advantage of all of the wealth of information online.
Thank you. So there are some questions actually on the published window. We'll be addressing that in a moment. So thank you, Anami. I'm going to send over Blessing for that same question.
All right. Okay, thank you for that. I think how I got started was I've always been a math student. I've always liked numbers. So, but I was a little bit confused when I was young. But I think when I was about going into college, I wanted to study architecture. But I had this family friend of mine that told me about engineering and was like, "Oh, it's engineering. Be able to work with tools that would help you to build architectural designs like AutoCAD and the likes." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I started with systems engineering, and then there was a particular class I took in school, automated reasoning and artificial intelligence, and that's what birthed my journey into software engineering, because I'd been super, really, really interested about artificial intelligence right from that class. I really liked my lecturer then, and then going forward, as I interacted with my mentor, he helped me to understand the necessary skills I needed to have to succeed in a career in AI and expert systems. And so I realized I needed to build software engineering skills. So I started learning how to program very well, and then I started working with different organizations. And I had the support of different mentors and different people that I worked with at all the places where I worked. And so far so good. It's been a great journey. I'm still on the journey, and I think one thing that have helped me to stay on track is my quest to learn. So being very curious, I'm always willing to learn something new. In fact, I always volunteer for anything new on my team. Like, oh, someone has to learn something. There's something coming up. Would you like to learn about it? I'm always really excited to learn about something new. So that has kept me thirsty for knowledge, thirsty to know anything new about the field, about tools. And there are so many tools, and like Onome said, everything you need is available online. There's so many resources, so many courses that you can take to keep yourself updated. And I think another thing that would help is also engaging in hackathon, even if you don't know how to code as much. But as if you're part of a team, like in a hackathon, at least you'll be assigned something and you'll be forced to probably go research and learn about something. So I've had the opportunity to attend several hackathons in my journey that has helped me to even pick up new skills, pick up new programming languages, that I've not done before. So I think those two things are really, really key, being very curious to learn and engaging in activities and projects that would, help you to be more creative and productive. Thank you very much.
Ruth, I think you're muted.
I did the same stuff. All right, I'm no longer muted. Yay! So we're gonna close off the session right now. But there was one question that went through about program managers, whether the program managers in the team. Whether they're required to code and how often. I can answer that question. In general, PMs, even though they need to be technical because they need to be able to communicate, they are the bridge between the customer and the software engineers. So you need to be able to speak both worlds' language. So you do have to be technical, but you don't have to code. However, in a lot of the interviews, we do ask you technical questions, like sometimes coding questions, maybe not in depth as the software engineering, but a PM in the engineering team is a technical program manager. I hope that answers your questions. So on that note, we're gonna close this off, and Anami and Blessing, thank you so much for your time. And for those of you who stay tuned in this session, I hope you learned something about ADC Nigeria, and I'll see you bounce around in the rest of this. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.